Now, if you're looking to invest in the Singapore REITs, absolutely check out Syfe Reit Plus because this portfolio is pretty unique. It gives you the exposure you want into Singapore REITs itself. Just in case you don't really know, REITs are forming more and more of a component within STI itself. Right now, there are 5 major names: Ascendas, CICT, Mapletree Logistics, Mapletree Industrial, and Mapletree Commercial. And not only that, there's 4 more in the reserve list waiting to join the STI index itself. Now today I'll be covering with you what exactly is Syfe Reit Plus, why I'm so positive about it. I'll be sharing with you, the 100% portfolio as well as the one that has risk management involved in it. Not only that, I'll be showing you the exact process as to how to apply for a portfolio if you're interested. And last but not least, I'll be sharing with you my own journey thus far. If this topic interests you, continue watching on. Hi guys, welcome back. Syfe Reit Plus actually tracks this index, iEdge S-REIT Leaders Index, and this index actually measures based on market cap as well as free float. And Syfe Reit Plus is very unique, it tracks this index like no other. But the main part of Syfe that I'm pretty interested in is actually the automated risk managed investment strategy, ARI, that they can bring forward as a value to you as an investor. Now, ARI, what does it do? It's meant to actually do risk management for you as well as protect downside risk. And there's one portfolio within Syfe Reit Plus that actually has this imputed, which is this over here. Let me pull out for you to see. This is the REITs with risk management. And as you can see in this breakdown, it gives you Singapore REITs and then a bond allocation, correct, which is the ABF Singapore Bond ETF. And what's the use of it? The main thing is to actually smoothen the journey, which means the ARI is meant to bring in more bond allocations when times are bad and reduce bond allocations when things are trending up. And they've actually a track record to show, which is this that I'd like to show you also. This is actually what happened at the start of 2020. Remember that period? That was when COVID-19 was pretty fresh and markets were very afraid of how you will shake up world economies, and that's why markets tumbled very quickly. So what we can see in this journey is, as of 2nd March 2020, the portfolio that has risk management actually reduced the allocation of REITs from 77% to only 50%. And that resulted in downside protection. And on 19 March, they actually did a rebalancing because markets came down so quickly. The allocation for REITs had to be increased back from 45 to 50%, which means a lot of buy low, sell high imputed with this ARI algorithm into it. Now, just in case you want to have more exposure into REITs itself, then instead look for the 100% REIT allocation portfolio. And this portfolio, just to share with you, right now, the top holding is CICT because of the latest merger. But 6 months before, as it was tracking the iEdge, it was Ascendas REIT that was the top holding. So again, it depends on the index it tracks, and don't worry about the allocation that's imputed into it for you. So the quick question that you may have is, what are alternatives in the market that possibly can be compared against? And I have something in mind, which is the Lion Philippe S-REIT ETF. This REIT ETF is also pretty interesting, and it actually tracks the Morningstar Singapore REIT yield focus, so it's different from Syfe Reit Plus. But the main thing is the performance itself, correct? And I have something to show you. So I did a quick piecing of the 2 portfolios. One is ETF, one is portfolio, to show you the difference in performance. But in that case, past performance does not indicate a future. So this is just to show you, what they have done in terms of the last few years. Just to give you a glimpse as to which may be one that is suitable for you. So with that, your next question is, how is the performance like for the REIT, 100% REIT portfolio versus the REIT with risk management imputed in? And I have this presentation for you. And up first is the 100% REIT portfolio. And over here, this chart you can actually extract in your journey, in the setup journey itself. And this chart is actually an internal back-tested data, which means using the same philosophy, what would have been performance journey for an investor. Now, what I do take away is, in this period of 2013-2015, REITs wasn't such an attractive sector. It was doing quite flat. Naturally, this portfolio have reflected that performance, and you can actually extract more information for yourself to understand the history of this portfolio itself. And back to this chart, something I'd like to show you also further, which is over here at the start of 2020. What do you realize? This massive plunge, correct? This was actually when equity markets had a lot of fear, and this REIT portfolio, which is 100% REITs, actually suffered also in performance, naturally, losing about 25% thereabouts. And what I want to show you is in comparison the REITs with risk management. Now, as you can see, this portfolio has bonds. This portfolio has active management with the ARI. And what it has done is it has actually given a smoother performance journey. And not only that, in that period, in the COVID-19 crisis itself, the portfolio probably lost about 7 to 10% thereabouts. So decide for yourself whether you want a smoother journey with the REITs with risk management whereby there's bonds and active allocation, or you prefer potentially higher rate of return with 100% REIT portfolio. Now, if you have questions between these two portfolios, do leave in the comment sections, and again, inviting you to press on the subscribe so that you get notified whenever I release a financial video for you. Now, the next part that I'll touch on for you is actually the setup, and it's actually pretty simple. It can be done within 10 minutes in my opinion. I'll just do a quick guide through for you to see. Now, over here, there's this new Cash Plus portfolio. Check it out if you want to. That's actually a very low risk portfolio. But today we'll be talking about the REIT Plus portfolio. And over here, just click on the build your portfolio and select accordingly. There are a few questions that you should input yourself. They'll give hints along the way as to what is suitable. Now, in this next part, you actually see a difference between the 100% REIT as well as the REITs with risk management, which I've covered with you already. So really decide for yourself which one works better for you. Now, after that, the next step is to actually confirm the portfolio. For example, if you want to go for the 20,000 tier, input over here, as well as whether you want to do a dollar cost averaging portion to it. If you want to reinvest or pay out, you can actually select accordingly if you're in the 20,000 tier and above. Now, over here, input your email. Subsequently, they will send you actually an OTP to verify. And of course, input the promotional code that I have for you. I'll leave links below just in case. Now, simply complete the setup using my info, and last but not least, make the payments and transfers to the portfolio to get started in a few working days. Now, as you can see, there are a few methods. The first is pay now, and there are also different methods to make the transfer. And once the portfolio receives the funds, it gets created. Now, your next question may be, how do you achieve dollar cost averaging if you want to build your portfolio up and yet avoid too much of market timing? Dollar cost averaging simply means you buy on a regular basis. Now, to solve that, simply do a regular instruction for transfers from your bank to the portfolio, and then automatically it will keep buying units for you as long as you transfer in. Now, next important factor to consider is actually the pricing for the portfolio itself. There are three categories: the blue, the black, and the gold. Now, if you're a new investor, maybe just start off with something small. Make sure it's comfortable for you. Then go for the blue tier. Fees are only 0.65% per annum. But for myself, I actually created a portfolio under the black tier to get some cost savings. I actually started my portfolio at a 20,000 level. Now, at the black tier, it's 0.5% per annum. But if you have a bigger amount that you'd like to invest, then of course look for the gold tier, which is starting from $100,000. The annual fees are 0.4%. Now, let me show you also my journey. Because I've invested in this portfolio for about a month, I've coined it post-COVID investment for recovery, because I do believe REITs are a sector that could benefit and could see some revision in terms of expectation. And what portfolio I've chosen is actually the REIT Plus with risk management. So I actually want to tap onto this ARI strategy. And indeed, as of right now, the REITs is 50% and the bonds is 50%. I'm also wondering when will it be adjusted upwards to have more REIT allocation, but nonetheless, if you're looking long term and trusting the allocation, might as well delegate it to it. The key part that I'd like to draw your attention to is the bottom part, which is the dividend option. When you're in the black and the gold tier, you can actually choose to get it paid out. So especially if you are a retiree investing for dividend income for retirement, for passive income, then consider black or the gold tier starting from 20,000 onwards, and then you get your payout, coming out every quarterly. So with that, hopefully it answers a few key questions. But since you stayed here, I have a further interesting thing, which is a comparison between this portfolio and a REIT ETF, as well as you buying REITs yourself individually. This is a summary that I think really gives you a very good snapshot. In terms of brokerage costs, Syfe Reit Plus already saves you money. You don't even pay that brokerage fee when you buy and sell any stock or ETF. When you buy a REIT ETF and when you buy individual stocks, you do incur that. In terms of diversification, Syfe Reit Plus gets you that, same as a REIT ETF. In terms of a REIT subscription, Syfe Reit Plus also gets you that, and the REIT ETF also gets you that. The main thing about investing in individual REITs is, you need to really manage it. I myself, I have some Ascendas REITs, and I actually did not do the right subscription because I was so busy. So these solutions really just automate it for you. Maybe it's going to make it a lot easier moving forward. Next part about dividend reinvestment. Syfe Reit Plus really stands out. It helps you do reinvestment if you want to compound your returns. When you buy an individual REIT, it's possible if they give you the option to do scrip dividends. That's why I've highlighted in that summary also. And last but not least, the only possible shortfall is right now Syfe Reit Plus is only cash. If you have SRS and CPF OA, then possibly as of right now, is not available yet. So hopefully I've covered a good spectrum for you. Again, if you have questions, leave them in the comment sections. I'm in touch with the team. This is a sponsored video by Syfe Reit Plus. They've actually shared with me a lot of behind the scenes things of how it works. I'd like to help you understand how it can benefit you in your journey also, because investing for passive income is indeed very important. So with that, I'll sign off. Take care and goodbye.